Hi guys, in this video we're going to take a look at GenCSS framework compatibility with ETCH. If you don't know what GenCSS is, I'll just show you. GenCSS was originally created as a desktop app CSS framework generation tool. All right, quite a mouthful, I suppose. But the idea is that using this desktop app, you are able to output a complete CSS framework using this beautiful UI. Okay, so you add in your colors. So you just simply create your colors. It, as you can see there, you could actually see the live update there. It modifies all the values. Creates the CSS framework tool, the CSS framework sheet as you're working. And we have everything in here. We have, this is really a comprehensive CSS framework. We've got the global palette, we've got color assignments, so you can actually, tokenize to the colors that you've created. New feature actually is the, well, not this bit isn't the new feature, but we've now got an auto light to dark feature. So it creates a bit like in Bricks Builder. I don't think CSS does, it must do. So yeah, but you get auto light dark, and that obviously that works well to have that in a CSS framework. And then typography. This is really a comprehensive system, and obviously you're already noticing that not only do we have access to the actual framework as we're working, but we have this beautiful preview. So as we're changing values, maybe we're playing with that ratio that we want to test out of the box, you can see that displayed as you're experimenting and playing around with what you have here. So we can go into a really granular level with this framework. So we've got all of the defaults, obviously, headings, body, and you get all of the tokens that you need. And you can change you swap those out for anything that you want. So there's such a deep granular level to what you can actually achieve here. But to be honest, change the ratios, choose your color palette, and your maybe your spacing ratios as well. Again, available in the preview here. So not just in the levels here as an indication. Let's do something a bit more drastic. Oh, it's misbehaving on me now. Embarrassing me in front of all my friends, but there we go, and we've got a demonstration of that on some actual elements, and then we've got contextual spacing as well there if you want to play around with the what you have tokenized for maybe gap content. Maybe you want it to be an M, so space M as opposed to L, and as you change that, you can see it alter in the preview. Okay, so lots of options here, beautiful preview, exposure to the code. Even better than that though, is that you have these custom areas where you can actually add your own custom primitives or custom tokens, and that actually adds these things into the CSS sheet here, and it's bi-directional. But if you have some color primitives, maybe you want to make up something else. So where would that be? Color, is that here? Let's have a look. New color, blue. Oh, blue. And let's actually search for that in here. So new color, and you see that it adds into our user area here. Now, you can alter these and it will be bi-directional, or you can use these spaces to add your own. Just before I go into the ETCH compatibility, I just want to show you CSS Studio. This is built in as well, and you can use this space to page builder experience, create some gradients, whatever you want, and then you grab the snippet of CSS here, or you can create your own new utility class. So it might be like your new background. And then you've got a new utility class, which you'd paste into here. All right, so into this space. So yeah, lots you can do. In CSS Studio, you've also got things like you can make layered sections or clipped typography with images and gradients. There are other videos on the GenCSS YouTube channel you can check out there. So, okay, that's a bit of a rundown about GenCSS framework. Just remember though, that is a desktop app. Okay, so you can buy this once, you've got it on your desktop. You can use this as the tool to get all of your branding elements together, and you produce this whole CSS framework sheet. Okay, it's a variables and design tokens system. So layer 1 is variables, layer 2 is design tokens, and you've got base and resets, and then you've got some utility classes, although you want to use those sparingly. So that's a rundown of Gen CSS framework. But as you can see, what happened is that it was created as a companion app for Feud Studio, which is a desktop static site page builder. So Feud Studio is built to create static sites. It's an actual code editor on your desktop, very much like VS Code, but we have the live preview here. We have the structure panel, the elements conveniently up here on the right, so you can just click, click, click. You can add links, buttons, images, SVGs. It adds the code. You have your style panels. You can make it how you like it, but Feud was created to promote the use of global CSS and that correct workflow. And so Gen CSS started as a modal in Feud. But I wanted it to be a lot more than that. I wanted it to produce a full framework experience. And for that, it had to become a companion app. So why has it come to WordPress? Why has it come to Bricks? Why has it come to Oxygen and then to ETCH? Quite simply, after using Feud and Gen CSS to create static sites and Astro sites and all of that, I missed Gen CSS when I was working in a Brick site with ACSS. Essentially, I missed the Gen CSS experience. I felt a bit limited from either the Bricks or the ACSS offerings. So I brought it into WordPress, essentially. I brought the desktop app into WordPress, and it also has Oxygen capability. It works really well there. Check out these videos if you're curious about that, or if you work with these builders. I think that would be of interest to you. But of course, this video is actually about ETCH and the fact that Gen CSS now has compatibility with ETCH WP. Quick note on that one, the desktop app, technically, this is the desktop version, technically it has compatibility with any project, with any builder, as long as it can host a global CSS style sheet. Because that is what a global style sheet is, isn't it? It's literally a produced framework of variables and design tokens, base and resets, and Gen CSS Desktop produces all of that, and you simply, because it's all exposed, the code is exposed to you, you simply copy it. That's it. And as long as you can paste that into any Webflow, Bricks, ETCH, Oxygen, whatever website, as long as you can paste that into whatever builder system and it has access to that, then it's compatible. So in that, the first thing I want to say about ETCH compatibility for Gen CSS is that the desktop version is ETCH compatible, not just for WP, but also for the static version of ETCH, which is coming up, because simply it will be able to host a global style sheet. Now, I know that a lot of people using ETCH don't actually use ACSS. They like to paste in their own style sheet or create their own framework. So with that reasoning, I would say if you like that workflow, if you like to produce a style sheet, put it into ETCH, and then edit directly in there or whatever, then the desktop version is actually, well, it's a bit of a better buy than the WordPress version, because obviously you can use the desktop version to output style sheets for any other project ever in the future. Okay, cool. So still, the fact is, I brought it into WordPress and I quite like having it in the interface, because you can go back and produce different buttons, you can make changes, and you don't have to copy and paste the style sheet changes. Let's actually have a look at how it works. What have we got? Let's launch ETCH in a new tab. Okay, so launching ETCH, and cool. And we'll also launch Gen CSS. Not that we actually need to. It's already there doing what it needs to do. Okay, so I've created some pretty funky colors. Let's make this a bit orange. There we go, just so we've done something a little bit different, a bit more vibrant. Okay, we're just going to play with looking at how the values come through. So let's create some elements, and down here, and then heading, and something like I don't know why that's base black. Don't know why that's base black, but okay. So add selector, it's all changed a bit since I've been using this. What do I have to do? Tab, tab, tab. And then hero. Okay, that's cool. So this is a hero, and generate BEM classes. That's cool. Oh no, it's generated section. Why? Huh? Generate BEM classes. That's a bit different to last time I used it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm sticking with section then. Okay, cool. So let's bung on some height. And immediately let's get a background color. I don't know why that, it wasn't just now when I was setting this up. So anyway, var, and let's just bring in our primary color. That's lovely. And let's color this one as well. So background, and that isn't our primary color, is it? No, I think I've got a browsery cachy thing going on. Oh, I didn't push to file. There we are. I was having a play just now. There we go. And background secondary. Oh my God, what's wrong with me today now? Secondary. Cool. Padding. Nice padding values in GenCSS. So it's like, you know, S, M, L. There are other tokenized ones, but or there's the default. So I think it's good to have a default set, obviously. So we'll go with L at the moment. Cool. Let's height this one 500 pixels, and I'm just chucking some stuff together so we can play really. What we're seeing though is that values are coming through as we would hope. Why isn't BEM working? Okay, I don't care. Align item. Oh, okay. I'll write that. Align items. That one. Center. Okay, cool. Let's bring in a gap here from Gen. Var gap content. Oh, there. Look at that. Cool. Okay, that's lovely. We're seeing a lot of all the values are coming through. That's really nice. Let's change this a bit. So we'll do a text transform first of all. Okay, and then let's bring in a text value. So font size, var, what am I on about? Text, XL, or XXL, XXXL. There we go. All right, let's play with the ratio change in Gen. Okay, so we're like, kind of, it doesn't have the power I want. Let's pop along to typography, and let's increase the ratio. Let's go golden ratio and push to file. Go to the front of the site. I think I saved it, but let's refresh that. And whoa, yeah, let's bring that down a bit. Push to file. Oop. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, that's fine. Push to file, simple as that. Typography, yeah, nice. Maybe that'll be a bit nicer. Actually, I've got to say, to be honest, big typography type of header, that looks pretty cool. Should have been a minimum height. Anyway, cool. So we've got that coming through. Let's look at buttons here, because I haven't shown you really the how versatile the buttons and links are in GenCSS. So we've got buttons and everything. We can set the globals. We can set globals for links as well. But the best thing are the variants. Okay, so if we take a peek here, we've got link -- primary. And that's made up of everything that you find here. So you can make all of these that you'd like. Maybe we want the background of the primary link to be secondary, which will be really odd. But regardless, that looks a bit better. So you change it out. You've got the preview, really nice experience. Maybe we want it to go to, because on hover right now it goes to primary dark 1, but we're going to go to secondary. So that looks pretty cool, and that gives us the link here, the utility class link -- primary. I'm going to push that to file, although that's already on there. I've opened up 2 gens now. Let's add a link, shall we? Down here, and then I'll come back up there. And yeah, okay, so here, click me. I'm just going to add a class, which is now something k, and selector dot link primary. And we see that that's coming through there. Wonderful. One of the benefits of having this in WordPress, again, as opposed to on the desktop, is that we can make a change. So we want it to go to primary light 1, or something along those lines. So it goes to a lighter blue. Push that. Currently, it's going to... Oh, I thought that was going to secondary. Let's have a look. Yeah, so that's happening there. Let's make sure that's happening. Let's be all transparent about this. Refresh. Oh yeah, okay. So again, I hadn't saved it before when I changed to the secondary. But let's go base light 1. Push. Refresh. And look at that, it's coming through really nice. Okay, cool. So, all those values are coming through. It's, you can add them as well to your, to the icons. That's all functional as well. And I assume that this is the exact experience you get when you paste into the style manager there. If you're one of the people that paste in your own style sheet, I would encourage you to consider the idea that GenCSS would be the one outputting that. If you're using the WordPress version, you can change the interface a little bit. You may not want to have exposure to the code, so you just turn that off. You can play around with the layout a bit, make it as you would like it to be, increase or decrease the size, or change the color of the panels. If you want to set yourself up on a light mode with a weird border, you can do that. That's pretty cool. I should just say that is the case also with Feud. You can change the panel interface and things like that to be how you would like it to be. So yeah, play around with it as you like it. Right, okay, cool. So I feel that that's a pretty strong integration with ETCH at this point, so I'm pleased that that's happened. I should quickly mention the settings here. Here we've got fonts and Montserrat. Okay, so I've just uploaded the file into here, and it gives me the URL there. Okay, so I can copy that and then go back to GenCSS. And this is how you're meant to do it in proper, coding. Because GenCSS and Feud are made for proper desktop coding. It's VS Code, but with the preview section and things like that, and other functionality, which maybe I'll quickly show you in a bit. But this is how you would add fonts to your file, and it should be in your global CSS file. And you look at that. You simply add in the Montserrat. There is the file that I uploaded here. Okay, and this is the URL that I got, although I trimmed that down obviously to be a relative. And then what we need to do is just say this is the one that we want to use for our display, and you see that comes through there. Don't forget to push to file, and that should actually bring a change to our file here. Open in Builder. Yeah, I'm sure that did. So yes, that's really great. I'm pleased to see this integration, and this is what I will be using when I'm working with ETCH. Because yeah, I love this system. I love the output, and don't forget that whether you use the WordPress version or the WP or the desktop version, it's the same thing. You get that file output, and yeah, very comprehensive. Oh, I should actually quickly mention a little bit of work is just being finished off on the color scheme, color scheme, tonal scale, so automatic light dark. Okay, that's coming together really well. So just doing a few final tweaks to that in the desktop version, and that's carrying over to the WordPress version. So I've got a video on that here. If you want to check out about light dark and how to use it, my personal view is that it shouldn't really be used so much aside from for accessibility. So I would encourage you to have a look at this video here. And this is how you establish it more for automatic use in a browser for accessibility. So yeah, check out that video. But you, of course, might want to play around and do your own light dark sort of systems. And this is an auto light dark that came into the bricks system, and one of the GenCSS users requested that comes into this system, and I thought, yeah, of course, makes a lot of sense. So this is here for a bit of testing. I'd love any feedback. Okay, cool. So sorry, I'm always nearly finished, aren't I? I said I would show you something in Feud. I don't remember what it was now. I said I'd show you a couple of other little features. So Feud is a desktop code editor like VS Code, but it has page builder elements. So you can, I've really made that quite yucky. I want to, there we are. That's a bit nicer. So you have lots of flexible code panels, and then you've obviously got you've got a push to GitHub button. So you initialize GitHub in the terminal, and through the terminal you actually have, which is really cool, Gemini or Claude, whatever, AI integration. And I've got a video on how that works. So yeah, do check that out. Vibe coding is cool again is the thumbnail. But yeah, helps you. That's my front end here. This video here will show you how to give AI within Feud all of the resources and also the restraints to use a design token system from Global's CSS and just create that first version of your site. And it's scalable, maintainable, built with BEM. You get the prompt in that video. It's really powerful. But yeah, you've got AI integration through the terminal, as people do with VS Code. You have GitHub, push to GitHub button, one-click install for Astro and Shopify. So if I have a look at this, start an HTML project, Astro project, Shopify project. It's just so. It's a great builder, and obviously it's a companion app to GenCSS. So if you've got any questions, throw them in the comments below. Be very happy to answer them. But as was the subject of this video, actually, was that GenCSS, the WordPress version, is now compatible with ETCH. And obviously its compatibility stretches to Bricks, Oxygen, Breakdance. You've got the choice really whether you'd want to go with the WordPress version so that you have that in, WordPress dashboard interface connectivity, and that makes sense. To be honest, it is much faster to use that. But you might want to use the desktop version and simply do that thing where you produce the style sheet, and as long as you can host it anywhere in your project, you've got a CSS framework tool that creates a global style sheet for anything you're working on. Static sites, Webflow, God, I don't know. Could you even do that in Wix? I don't actually know. Don't use Wix for a reason. I hope you don't as well. Anyway, cool. So yeah, lots of info there. Throw any comments, questions downstairs in the comments section. And obviously pop along to GenCSS YouTube channel if you want to find out a little bit more, or go along to my channel, Chris Good Online, and you'll find me for a front-end web development course that's free and just progressing through that. Some things about Astro and how to build in static. So and how all of that's working out. So this is how to build with Astro with a component workflow. So yeah, there's lots here. But obviously GenCSS is a central part of that workflow. So yeah, lots to have a peek at. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Comment, like, subscribe, all of that. I'll see you in a bit.